James Allen's From Poverty to Power, a small but potent volume published in 1902, stands as a timeless beacon of self-help literature. While the prose may occasionally bear the marks of its era, and some of its claims might benefit from a contemporary lens, the book's core message remains profoundly relevant. The power of thought and the cultivation of character are the cornerstones of a fulfilling and meaningful life. This essay will embark on a comprehensive exploration of Allen's work, dissecting its key themes, analyzing its strengths and weaknesses, considering its historical context, and ultimately arguing for its continued significance as a guide to inner transformation. The central thesis, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. At the heart of From Poverty to Power lies the profound assertion, as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. This biblical quote, echoing throughout the book, is not merely a pious platitude but a fundamental principle that governs human experience. Allen argues that our thoughts are not ephemeral mental events but rather potent forces that shape our actions, mold our character, and ultimately determine our destiny. He posits that our external world, the tapestry of our circumstances, is a direct reflection of our internal landscape, a mirror reflecting the nature and quality of our thoughts. This is not presented as a magical formula or a simplistic law of attraction, but rather as a natural law, a principle of cause and effect operating within the realm of human consciousness. Allen's philosophy emphasizes the individual's agency in shaping their own reality. We are not passive recipients of fate, buffeted by forces beyond our control, but rather active creators of our lives, empowered by the ability to choose our thoughts. This empowerment, however, comes with a corresponding responsibility. If our thoughts are the seeds of our actions and our character the sum of our actions, then we are accountable for the garden we cultivate within our minds. 2. The cultivation of thought, the inner garden. Allen uses the powerful metaphor of the mind as a garden, where we are the gardeners. We are constantly sowing seeds, whether consciously or unconsciously, and these seeds will inevitably sprout and bear fruit. If we cultivate positive, purposeful thoughts, seeds of courage, resilience, and compassion, we will reap a harvest of strength, wisdom, and fulfillment. Conversely, if we allow the weeds of negativity, self-doubt, and fear to take root, we will find ourselves entangled in a thicket of anxiety, despair, and limitation. The act of thought cultivation, according to Allen, requires conscious effort and persistent self-discipline. It is not enough to simply wish for a better life. We must actively weed out the negative thoughts that hold us back and diligently plant the seeds of positive change. This process begins with self-awareness, with becoming conscious of the thoughts that flit across the landscape of our minds. We must learn to observe our thoughts without judgment, to identify the patterns that perpetuate our suffering, and to consciously choose to replace them with thoughts that align with our aspirations. 3. The formation of character, the bedrock of true power. For Allen, true power is not synonymous with material wealth, social status, or external achievements. These are merely superficial manifestations, fleeting and ultimately unsatisfying if they are not grounded in a solid foundation of character. He argues that character is the complete possession of the man, the inner compass that guides our actions and determines the quality of our lives. Character, in Allen's view, is not an innate trait but rather a cultivated virtue, the result of consistent and deliberate thought. Our actions, he suggests, are simply the outward expressions of our inner character, which itself is the cumulative effect of our habitual thoughts. Therefore, to build a strong and virtuous character, we must begin by purifying our thoughts. We must strive to embody qualities such as integrity, honesty, compassion, and self-control, not merely as abstract ideals but as lived realities, reflected in every thought, word, and deed. Allen emphasizes that true power emanates from this inner strength of character. It is not something that can be seized or imposed, but rather something that grows organically from within. He portrays a stark contrast between those who pursue external power without cultivating inner strength and those who focus on developing their character as the foundation for all else. The former, he suggests, will ultimately find their power to be fleeting and fragile, while the latter will discover a wellspring of inner strength that empowers them to navigate life's challenges with resilience and grace. IV. Self-reliance and responsibility. Taking ownership of our lives. From Poverty to Power champions the principle of self-reliance, urging readers to take full responsibility for their lives and circumstances. Allen advocates for a shift away from a victim mentality, where we attribute our misfortunes to external factors, and towards a position of self-ownership, where we recognize our power to shape our own reality. This does not imply a denial of the very real challenges and injustices that exist in the world, but rather a recognition that our response to those challenges is ultimately within our control. True self-reliance, according to Allen, is not synonymous with arrogance or isolation. It is rooted in humility and a recognition of the interconnectedness of all beings. It is the understanding that while we are responsible for our own lives, we are also part of a larger whole, and our actions have ripple effects that extend beyond ourselves. This understanding fosters a sense of compassion and encourages us to use our power not only for our own benefit but also for the betterment of others. The law of attraction, implied, aligning inner and outer realities. While Allen doesn't explicitly mention the law of attraction, as it is popularly understood today, his writing touches upon similar principles. He suggests that positive and focused thoughts have a tendency to attract positive experiences and outcomes. This is not presented as a magical formula for instant manifestation, but rather as a natural consequence of aligning our inner world with our desired outer reality. By cultivating thoughts of abundance, health, and success, we create a mental environment that is conducive to attracting those very things into our lives. Conversely, dwelling on thoughts of lack, fear, and failure only serves to perpetuate those negative experiences. This principle underscores the importance of mindful attention to our thoughts, of consciously choosing to focus on what we want to create rather than what we want to avoid. Strengths and weaknesses, a balanced perspective. From Poverty to Power possesses several strengths that contribute to its enduring appeal. Allen's writing is highly inspirational and motivational, conveying complex ideas in a clear and accessible manner. The book's core message about the power of thought and character transcends time and culture, offering universal principles for personal growth and self-improvement. Its concise and easy-to-read format makes it accessible to a wide audience. Perhaps its greatest strength lies in its focus on inner transformation, emphasizing that true and lasting change begins within. However, the book also has its limitations. The dated language, while not insurmountable, can pose a slight challenge for some modern readers. More significantly, some critics argue that the book oversimplifies the complexities of life and downplays the influence of external factors. While personal responsibility is crucial, it's important to acknowledge that individuals do not operate in a vacuum. Social inequality, economic hardship, and systemic injustices can significantly impact a person's life, and to suggest that thought alone can overcome all obstacles risks minimizing these very real struggles. Furthermore, the book's lack of specific techniques for cultivating positive thought patterns is a notable weakness. While Allen eloquently articulates the importance of controlling our thoughts, he doesn't provide a detailed methodology for achieving this. He emphasizes the need for persistence and self-discipline, but the practical application of his philosophy is left largely to the reader. This necessitates that readers engage actively with the text, reflecting on their own thought patterns and developing their own strategies for mental cultivation. 7. Historical context and contemporary relevance. From Poverty to Power was written at the turn of the 20th century, a time of significant social and economic change. The Industrial Revolution had brought about unprecedented levels of wealth and opportunity, but it had also created stark inequalities and social problems. Allen's book can be seen as a response to these challenges, offering a message of hope and empowerment to those struggling to find their place in a rapidly changing world. While the specific challenges facing individuals today may differ from those of Allen's time, the fundamental principles he espouses remain relevant. In a world characterized by constant change, uncertainty, and information overload, the ability to control our thoughts, cultivate strong character, and take responsibility for our lives is more important than ever. Allen's message offers a powerful antidote to the feelings of helplessness and alienation that can arise in the face of overwhelming complexity. 8. Conclusion, a timeless guide to inner transformation. From Poverty to Power is not a magic formula for instant success or a simplistic solution to life's complex problems. It is, however, a timeless guide to inner transformation, a reminder of the profound impact of our thoughts and character on our lives. It is a book that encourages introspection, self-responsibility, and the cultivation of positive mental habits. Its value lies not in providing all the answers but rather in posing the crucial questions, prompting us to examine our own thoughts and character, and in so doing, to embark on the lifelong journey of self-discovery. While we must acknowledge the limitations of its early 20th century context and supplement its general principles with more contemporary understandings of psychology and social dynamics. Thank you for listening.